My name is Rhonda McLaren Scott, and I'm working in financial aid now for quite some time. We put together this presentation. We put together this whole night, this event, with recruitment, with our community engagement partners, and with our EOC and TRIO partners. We came together because we said so many times students will do the FAFSA, and then they were like, oh, well, I don't qualify. It's not going to work. I don't know what to do. And so this way, you have the opportunity to see other ways that you can pay for college, because the FAFSA doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the financial aid that you need. So that doesn't mean you don't have need. It just means that your need may not be as high as the next person's. So either way, what you want to do is thank you very much for coming in and learning about how to pay for college on this night. In the back, I'm going to talk about some of the different tables that we have in the back here to help you. The Maryland Dream Act is there for students who cannot do the FAFSA because of their immigration status. And so a lot of times, because the federal and the state, it's not always working out the way immigration, the immigration issues that we have. So for our Maryland residents that have gone to Maryland high schools and they're graduating from Maryland high schools, they can do the DREAM Act so that way they will not have to pay out-of-state charges for their college or university tuition. So it's very important that they do the DREAM Act. The MC Student Employment Services is another way that we have for students to pay for college. Oftentimes, not only after you started doing your college education can you use them, but you can use them while you're here. They can help you with resume preparation. They can help you with internship searches. There's so many things that they can assist you with. You definitely want to get signed up on their email list so that way you can use their services as well. The TRIO program, a lot of people have, because this program has started, I believe it was in the 50s. It's a federally funded program, the TRIO and EOC program. This program is something that MC houses for you so that you can take advantage of all the skills and the opportunities that they have to offer. I've seen EOC being able to give tuition waivers for application waivers. They can also help you with your scholarship searches. I've also personally witnessed them give scholarships to certain individuals. It's not just at MC, but through the school that they're going to. So if you're going to transfer from MC, definitely reach out to TRIO and EOC and let them help you out in figuring out what path you want to go on and how to get there and how to pay for it. Scholarships that MC offers, we have a scholarship office that handles most of our foundation scholarships. So our MC, Montgomery College Foundation, gives money to students based on various different criteria. The money comes from donors that are in Montgomery County, and these donors have come together and said, I'd like to go ahead and let's go ahead and give money to the school so that they can give scholarships to students. We have a large number of scholarships that are available, and people are not always, the students are not always registering for them or applying for them. So it's very important to do a scholarship search outside of just doing the FAFSA. Going to the school's website and putting in scholarships there, you'll see information about the foundation and a lot of these other scholarships that I'm going to talk about now. The Herb Block Foundation, Herb Block was a Washington Post cartoonist, and when he died, he left a scholarship endowment through his foundation to give only to DMV students. So, and it's not only DMV students, it's DMV community college students. So if you are, going to a community college in the area, then definitely apply for the Herb Block Scholarship because it awards you up to your cost of attendance at that college. So your tuition may have already been covered by your Pell Grant, but what about books? What about a laptop? What about getting to and from your classes? You might need assistance with food. This Herb Block Scholarship gives more than just your tuition and fees, so that's something that you want to look into, definitely applying. CLEP is another way that you can earn credits for college, and they are here as well, so you can ask more information about how to take advantage of the CLEP program through the College Board. And Montgomery College Honors Program, often we offer scholarships as well through the honors program. We do have representatives here to talk to you about some of those programs, and more information, of course, is online, and this slideshow is going to be available online for you as well. So definitely, if you've got the great grades that you need for the honors program, it's a wonderful program to participate in and a wonderful program to meet new friends, learn. Some of their programs you're actually meeting with the same cohort of students, and so you can develop lifelong friendships that way as well. The Presidential Scholars Program is a wonderful program as well that our school offers. If donors have donated to make this program possible for our students, so it's something that you want to look into as well. And dual enrollment. This year, dual enrollment is now available for MCPS students. Then they do not have to pay to take additional classes or take our classes while they are duly enrolled in high school. They have the ability, if they work it out right, they have the ability to end up graduating from high school with their Montgomery College degree as well. So from there, they would take that and get a 4-year degree. Their first 2 years would already be covered, and now they're just looking at paying for the last 2 years of their bachelor's degree instead of the whole 4 years. So it works out really well. You've done a huge cost savings by enrolling in dual enrollment in high school. Now I'm going to talk to you about some of the FAFSA tips. So when you're doing the FAFSA did go through a major change from 23-24 to 24-25. When I say these years like that, I'm talking about the school aid year. It means from the fall of the first one to the spring, summer of the next one. So for 25-26, not a whole lot has changed, but we will go over some of the different tips so that way you can try to make sure that you complete your FAFSA without running into snags. The first thing I want to discuss is your immigration status. It's important that when you are applying for your FAFSA, you meet one of these immigration statuses. So you can be a refugee with a granted refugee status, asylum granted status, and you see some of these other ones here. They are often coming up with different statuses that are eligible for financial aid. I believe people from Ukraine going through that, coming over as refugees from there, they are also eligible. So it's important to understand what your immigration status is and if you can apply for federal aid. When you're starting the FAFSA, it's important that you have the information of the contributors that you will be asking to contribute to your FAFSA. Contributors are typically people, you are a contributor yourself, your parents are contributors. If you're under age 24 and you're not married and you're not in the military, then your parents would also be considered contributors. You would also, if you were married, your spouse would be a contributor. You need the information from them, their name, their email address, house address, those informations to put into the FAFSA so that they can send the contributor information, a request, basically asking them to be contributors on your FAFSA. So you want to gather all your documents, tax returns, if you've received any child support or your parents have received child support, information of the cash balances that they have and their investments. You can find more tax information on this website here, and it can assist you when you're completing the FAFSA. So when you do your FAFSA completion, we do have rooms that are available in the building where we're assisting students in doing their FAFSA now, and they have access to that information. So one key thing that I do want to mention as a Maryland resident, always make sure that if you're in high school, younger high school students should not go and do the FAFSA application before their senior year. The reason why is because the Guaranteed Access Grant, which is a phenomenal grant, it's a wonderful grant that students are offered through the state of Maryland if they're high need. If you apply and do that FAFSA beforehand, you will be offered that Guaranteed Access Grant, and you won't use it because you haven't graduated high school yet. And so then it's only offered once. So then the next year when they do need it, they're not going to be offered that award. So it's very important. If you do know of any students that have, gone in and tinkered and said, let me see what we're going to get, let me put my information in, you definitely want to ask them to try to call this number and talk to them about reversing that so that they're still eligible for the Guaranteed Access Grant. Okay, it's very important. The scholarships and fellowships, there's a question on there that asks, on your FAFSA, it asks if you received scholarships or fellowships or grants. Those are only the grants that are taxable. Most scholarships and grants are not taxable, so you should not be including them on your tax return or putting them on your FAFSA. However, there are a few that you can note in the FAFSA that you can put in. So it's important to not be quick to add in scholarships, grants, and fellowships. For FSA-ID for parents who are not, that's a big change now. Before an FSA-ID, you could only use an FSA-ID as a parent that had a Social Security number that was here in the States. We have a lot of students that have parents that are abroad, and they've come here. The student may be a citizen, but their parents are living abroad. So the federal government has decided to allow those parents to also create FSA IDs. They have to be verified before it will work to just have the information go through. It can take up to 3 weeks, sometimes a little longer. So that is something that's a new change. So you do want to try to get that started, the FSA ID process started. And also another thing that's changed on the FAFSA is that you no longer are, the way it was before, you used to be able to just put in your household size and the information about who is in your household, and that is what we would use. That's still the case, but they're also taking in the exemptions, the number of exemptions from your tax return. Now that they are transferring information from your tax return, that is some of the information that they're taking. Now, that's not always right. You may have a situation where your child that you still support, they may be 21 years old, but they're not on your tax return. They're not on your they're not listed as exemptions. So you do need to make sure that when you do the FAFSA, you add in all of the children that you support, all of the people that you support in your household, even if they're going to school, maybe they're working on their master's degree, or their bachelor's degree and they're in another state, but that's still a child that you're supporting. You're sending money to, you are supporting that child. You should be putting that information on the FAFSA as well.
All right.
And then students that graduated from high school in a different country, make sure when it asks you when you're doing the FAFSA, make sure that you put in FC for foreign country, and then you put in the information. It's very difficult to figure that out sometimes. So this slide just has information about the FAFSA prototype and how you can access different things there. And another question that a lot of us get is, where do we put the information about the Maryland 529 plan? So basically parents have decided to save money through Maryland 529 to save for their education or for their child's education. So where does that get reported? So it really depends on So the dependent student, or custodial parent, they would report the total value of the 529 plan as a parent asset. And this includes all accounts owned by the student and by the parents, any member of the household. If it's a non-custodial parent or grandparent, so let's say your grandparent saved for you, then only you're reporting the annual distribution of that plan, not the total value of the plan, just the annual distribution of the plan on question 45 of the FAFSA. That's where you would put that. And if you're an independent student, let's say you're using that 529 for yourself, then you report the accounts owned by the student, and you report it as a student investment, and that's on question 42 of the FAFSA. So it's very important to try to understand where that information is to be put in. Now, please make sure that you understand what the MD-CAPS account is and that you're familiar with MHEC. The Maryland Higher Education Commission is what we call MHEC. When you do the FAFSA, it automatically, if you're a Maryland resident, it automatically gets sent to the Maryland Higher Education Commission. And that's where they do things like assess you for the Guaranteed Access Grant that I talked to you about. They have a large number of grants that are available for Maryland residents. And so automatically that information goes there. The way that they give out the funds is by sending an email to the email that you used on your FAFSA. They send an email and say, please accept this award. You've been granted X amount of dollars. You would then need to create your MD-CAPS account, or you could create it now so that way you're ready. Create your MD-CAPS account, accept the award that way, and then once you've accepted the award, you'll be able to use that as long as you're registered in the right number of classes and everything else. If you do not accept the award, well, then it gets reevaluated and given to another student who may be on the waiting list. You have, I believe it's usually about 6 weeks from the time that they send that email to accept that award. So it's very important that you act on that email when you see it. Sometimes students will see MHEC and they'll think, oh yeah, sure. No, nobody's awarding me money through my email. No, this is exactly how they're doing it. So make sure you're familiar with MHEC. Okay, the last part I want to talk about is, again, using the Educational Opportunity Center to get assistance when you're completing your FAFSA, when you're getting career counseling or advising. They can help you in so many ways. We do have representatives here at the back. They have the ability to spend more time with you. So, in financial aid, yes, please call us, that's fine, but we have limited time, whereas the Educational Opportunity Center is there created for you, and they can book you a 1-hour appointment and you can talk about the scholarships and you can work with them. So it's really important. You want to sign up to get their services because it will help you out. Okay, and here's some contact info right there. You can contact us at the Financial Aid Office. You email us at financialaid@montgomerycollege.com or .edu. And definitely follow us on our social media accounts so that you can get more information.